guys, welcome. This is Ashley with Brindle Babe Designs. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this boho wall hanging. It's a super fun, very customizable little home decor piece that's really easy and works up really quick. So let's get started. Okay, so what you'll need for this project is a 3.5 centimeter pom-pom maker. This is the kind that I like, but you can really use any kind you like. A tapestry needle, a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, see that a little bit better, and then a small pair of scissors, preferably with a narrow blade. And then for the wooden dowel, you'll want a 7/16 in diameter and then by 12 inches across. And then for the yarn, we will be using Lion Brand Cupcake. This is a number 3 light yarn in the color Sea Breeze. I really like the colors that Lion Brand has been coming out with this line, so definitely go check out all the colors that they have right now. You can also, if you'd like, you can use any sort of number 3 weight yarn for this. You can also use a worsted weight, and number 4 for this project also works. It really doesn't matter. And then you can also just change up the colors, you know, for the body of the wall hanging, and then do like a different color for the pom-poms. Okay, so to start, we're going to make a slip knot, and to do that, you're just going to put a piece of yarn over the top of your finger. You're going to cross it at the bottom here, just like that, and then take it off your finger and pull up the tail through the loop. Alright, and make sure, keep it large enough to put on your wooden dowel. So then we're going to slip the end on our wooden dowel. You want to cinch it up a little, don't do it too tight. And then we're going to start with row number 1. Okay, so to start, we are going to single crochet 36 stitches across, and we're just going to do that around the wooden dowel. So to do that, let me show you. First, we're going to, for our first stitch, we're going to slip stitch. So let me show you that. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you come underneath, make sure you hold your yarn away from you on the opposite side of the wooden dowel, and you're going to come underneath the wooden dowel, pull up a loop, and then pull through that loop. And now we're going to go into our single crochets. So we're going to go underneath our wooden dowel, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. Just pull that tail out of the way. Let's do another one. Underneath the wooden dowel, pull up a loop, and pull through 2. So let me point out what you can start to see here. So you can see the 2 single crochets that you just did are going to have 2 loops for each on your wooden dowel. So we don't want to use these to count our stitches, because then we would just, the count wouldn't be right. Because we want to go off, if you turn it upside down, we want to go off these little V's, or the little bars here. So, and then the last one you would include 1 as well. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 stitches on our wooden dowel. So keep that in mind as you're counting your stitches down the line. So let's continue going down the row, and always make sure your yarn for the single crochets are going over and away from you, over the dowel and away from you on the opposite side. So then come underneath. And make sure that you're doing these single crochets pretty loosely. Otherwise it's going to be hard for row number 2 to do your next row of single crochets. And what you can see start happening as well is that you're kind of twisting here as you go down. That's just not going to naturally happen. So just make sure that you straighten everything out, you know, as you go across, so you don't get anything turned around. Okay, so once you reach the end of your row with your 36 stitches across, just make sure go back and, you know, space everything out as evenly as you can. And if you're using a number 4 worsted weight yarn, I would probably suggest doing a little less stitches across. There's no multiples for this pattern, so you can really just eyeball it to your liking. Okay, so now we're going to move on to row number 2. Alright, so we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So, starting with the first stitch here next to your hook, you're going to go into this bottom V in between this space here, right here. So just single crochet into there and keep doing that across. That's gonna feel a little awkward holding a, you know, a wooden dowel where you're single crocheting, because normally we would just chain and then work upon that foundation chains. But since our wooden dowel is our foundation, we don't really have any chains, so we're just working upon that so that in the end we don't have to attach it, it's already attached. But as you do more rows, it'll get more comfortable because you won't have to hang on to the wooden dowel the whole time. So I wanted to show you the end of this row number 2. You want to make sure that you include this last little slip knot here on the end. Maybe a little tricky to get in there if you did it too tight, but should be good. Okay. So for row number 3, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. I've got yarn going all over the place. Alright, so now that you have your 36 stitches across, you are going to, for row number 3, we are going to half double crochet across now. So in this first stitch here, right next to your hook, you're going to half double crochet and do that all the way across. Alright, so your work should start to look like this once you finish row number 3. And all we're gonna do for the next 9 rows is chain 1 and then half double crochet across. And then after that we'll start our decreases. So I'll meet you over there once you're done. Okay, now this is what your work should start to look like once you've got your single crochets around your dowel, your first row of single crochets, and then your 10 rows of half double crochets. So, and the way that this yarn works, this variegated yarn, it didn't change the color as kind of fast as I like it to. So I just went ahead and cut the colors and reattached to the next color, as you can see here. And so we're gonna go on to row number 13. So this is where we're gonna start our decreases. So once you turn your work, you are not going to chain one on these rows. So you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to skip this first stitch here. See that a little bit better. And we're going to go into the next stitch. And you're going to do that all the way across until you reach the end, and you're going to leave the very last stitch unworked. So that'll be 2 decreases for this row. That'll be 2 at the end of this row. Okay, so once you get here at the end, I have 2 stitches left. So you want to make sure this one on the side, kind of on the side here, counts as our last stitch. So you just want to work your half double crochet in this one and then leave that one unworked. Once you've turned your work, you're just gonna continue doing that until you're down to your last stitch. So you're just gonna skip the first stitch, half double crochet in the second from your hook, and then once you get to the end, skip that last stitch, and you'll just keep doing that until the end, and I'll meet you over there. Okay, so I wanted to show you here, I'm down to my last 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. So we're just gonna go into, you'll just do the same, skip this first, just go into that very last, in the middle, and that's gonna finish your work. So now you're just going to pull out a little bit of a tail here, and then cut your yarn. And just go ahead and tie it off here. You don't have to worry about hiding this knot because we're going to be adding our tassels next, as well as our poms. So your work should look like this. And now we'll move on to the next step. So to do your tassels, I just chose to do multicolor, but you can really do solid color however you'd like. So I got 4 strands together because we want our tassels to be a little bit bulky. And you're going to measure it, so since our dowel is 12 inches across, you just want to measure just about the length of your dowel. Don't worry too much about being precise on the length because you can trim the tassels however you'd like, if you want them even or if you want to leave them a little imperfect, whatever you'd like. So cut your 4 strands. I'm going to turn this upside down, and we're going to start attaching these right before our decrease rows. So I'm going to start on this first red row here, and we're going to take our crochet hook, we're going to fold these in half and then come underneath the first stitch here, and then we're gonna pull all these up through here. Try and make sure that's pretty even. And then you want to pull through all your strands through the loop here, through the hole here. Okay. Okay, and you can just do that all the way around until you reach the other side, the same stitch on the other side. Okay, so now that you've got your tassels all the way down the sides, we're gonna start making our pom-poms. And we're gonna be making 3. So let me show you how to do those. So we take our pom-pom makers, and then I'm gonna use white for this. So this doesn't snap in together, so it feels kind of wonky. But if you just place them together, and then we'll take the end of our yarn. Oops. Okay. And we'll just start wrapping around. I'm gonna hold it there. Just gonna wrap around a bunch of times. So for mine, I don't want my pom-poms too full. I want them a little bit kind of like flappy. But you can just kind of test out, see what size you like best. So if you want like a fuller, more thicker pom, just wrap it a bunch more. If you want less, wrap it less. I just like to get everything good and like covered so you can't see like the green here, and then do like an extra layer of wraps around. Okay, so that's good for this side. I'll just cut this one, and then I'll go ahead and do the other side. Okay, and you can just eyeball it to make sure the thickness is about the same on both sides. I'm gonna cut this one, and I'm gonna put this close, snap it together, and then all these excess ones out of the way. So this is where it comes in handy to have like a narrow set of scissors. Mine aren't super narrow, but they do the job. So just gonna come on the back side here and start cutting. Okay, we'll do the other side. Okay. Alright, so then for this first pom, we're gonna cut an extra long piece of tail to tie around, because that's gonna hold all three of our pom-poms together. So I'm just doing, just do more than you'll think you'll need, because you can always cut off excess. Okay. And then we'll just cut it in the middle and then tie it around our pom. So around the middle here, feed it through. Oops. Tie it real tight. And then I like to go around the other side and do a tie and then knot it. Oops. And make sure you get in the center there. And then we'll do one more for good measure. Okay, so once you've tied it all good and snug in there, just gonna open this. Oops, my clip came off. Uh-oh. So we just open these two sides up. And there is your pom. It's probably a little fuller than I like, but that's okay. I'll cut off the longer pieces here. For the most part, it looks pretty good. Alright. And we're just gonna make two more. You don't have to make an extra long tail for the two others. Just for this first one. Okay, so now that you've got your three pom-poms, we are going to take our one with the longest tail and we're gonna attach the two poms. So what you're gonna do is take your tapestry needle and you'll stick your yarn through one end. And then we're gonna attach one of these. So to attach it, we're just gonna go through the center and pull through the yarn through. So you want to make sure that you're getting it through the center part. So you want this to be on top, like the center tie to be on top. And so you just want to go through there. And pull it through. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Oops. All right. Find our tie. So there it is. Put it through the center. Alrighty. Now I'm going to attach this to our finished piece. And to do that, we're gonna just tie these to the very ends on either side. Okay, and don't worry about these, we'll trim them at the end. We just want to make sure we can move these in the right position. Okay, so I just wrap it around the dowel twice and then just tie it here. So to attach, if you'd like to do the string to hang it from, we're gonna take our end and we're gonna locate the last loop of our work, and then we're gonna put our hook through there and pull our string through. Let's see. And then you're just gonna tie it off there. Make sure to try and get the tassel part, not this part, in your tie. Okay. And there you have it. All finished. Thank you so much for following along on this video tutorial. I would love it if you liked and subscribed to my channel. I do a bunch more free tutorials on my blog. Be sure to follow me on there. And I'm also on Instagram.